everything that we were playing was riddled with cheaters. And we were just fed up. We were just really fed up with it. I've got a young family and, I want them to be able to grow up and play games and have fun. I don't want to have to constantly look over their shoulder because people can do nasty things to them. So I'd really like in 5 years' time for everyone to turn around and go, holy shit, gaming was so bad 5 years ago. But now there's so much less cheaters. There's so much less bad. If you haven't been fired at least once, you're doing something wrong.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of GameBiz Heroes. Today I'm excited to introduce the founder of PlaySafe ID, a pioneering platform bringing safety to online gaming. Please welcome Andrew.
My name is Andrew Wailes and I'm the CEO of PlaySafe ID.
Can you share your career journey and what led you to your current role in the gaming industry?
Yeah, for sure. So I have what's described as a squiggly career. So I actually left school at 16 because I was a good student, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I tried to do something completely different. So I trained as a chef and I ended up going to London and doing the whole Michelin-star thing. And I was a chef de partie of patisserie at Le Gavroche and I did some really cool things there. Thing is, I didn't want to work 18 hours a day for no money and I wanted to be able to have a wife and a family and a house. So I was like, well, I can't stay being a chef and do that. Fortunately, I made some friends in London who worked in marketing and tech and stuff like that. And they opened my eyes to the world that they worked in. And I was hooked. I was like, this is crazy cool. And this is really interesting. So I started a career in marketing, worked at various agencies, worked client side and agency side. I ended up being able to upsell clients quite well because A, I was good at my job and B, apparently I can speak to people. So that was helpful. And I was good at translating complicated tech things into human language. So I actually ended up getting moved more into kind of like a sales role, an account management, account directorship role. Weird story. During COVID, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with a group online because it's COVID and we were all locked in. I'm really cool, sue me. And one of the guys there, he raised some money to do a gaming startup for game economics and behavioral analytics. And he didn't have anyone to help with sales and marketing and stuff like that. So he was just like, hey, we've got on really well. We always talked about work and stuff in this group. He was like, why don't you come and help me with this? So that was my first incidental foray into gaming. Completely unplanned, dream come true, right place, right time. But my life has been very right place, right time so far. So yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And what motivated you to found PlaySafe ID?
A couple of years ago, just me and my friends, everything that we were playing was riddled with cheaters. And we were just fed up. We were just really fed up with it. And we all came to the same conclusion, which is if there was a system by which that we could verify ourselves in some kind of way that still keeps us anonymized, like we don't want it to actually be us, but it would be great to have that. It would be great if you could only have one life. If you were caught cheating, you couldn't just create a new account and come back in. We were all desperate for this as consumers. And we were like, why not do that? And my friends made a bet to me. This was at the point that I was working in the gaming space. And they were like, yo, why don't you go and fix this? You kind of work in gaming and startups and stuff, just do it. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I'll just go do that. So I'm doing that.
And with increasing regulatory requirements, how does PlaySafe ID help studios comply while also protecting children and making games safer for everyone?
Yeah, so it was absolutely never our goal or our intention to make a compliance solution to like the Online Safety Act and stuff. We've had a couple of astute people like research the company and they've noticed that it was actually registered 2 months after the law was passed. So they're like, oh, they made it in response to complete happenstance. It also is a nice coincidence that because we're verifying players, one of the things that we can do is verify their date of birth. And then we can return that date of birth to the developer, but we do it in a coarse way. So we don't say this person is this date of birth. We don't say this person is this age. We say they're 18 plus or they're 15 to 17 or something nice and coarse like that. We've done everything that we can to anonymize players and to make it that they're an anonymized random profile, but while being able to surface this coarse age band and while being able to ensure they have this one life. So cheaters, hackers, bots, predators, pedophiles, people part of sextortion and grooming gangs and stuff like that. If they're caught, we can now keep them out so they can't rejoin and re-access children again. But I've got a young family and I want them to be able to grow up and play games and have fun. I don't want to have to constantly look over their shoulder because people can do nasty things to them.
Exactly. And from your perspective, what are the biggest opportunities for growth and innovation right now in the industry?
I think, and I hope we're batting in one of them.
Yeah.
I think The anti-cheat space in general, I think,
Mm-hmm.
will always be a hot space to work in, just because there's so many hundreds of thousands to millions of people developing cheats, using cheats, hacking about, breaking systems. There's this constant cat and mouse game between game
Yeah.
developers and between cheat developers, and it's been this constant cycle. So I think anyone that can help aid in that fight, so players have a better time, studios make more money, I think that's always a good shout. We're approaching this from the accountability standpoint, but I've seen some startups doing this now with kind of like AI video detection to see if people are moving in ways that's physically possible or humanly
Mm-hmm.
possible, and pattern recognition and stuff. I think that's a really cool space.
And can you share an example of a project or initiative that you're especially proud of?
Other than PlaySafe ID, because I'm quite proud of that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any others?
So, that I've worked on, or just that I like?
Let any. Maybe that you liked. Yeah.
A project that I really, really like, and I'm an avid supporter of, and I would like to support much more in the future, is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They
Mm,
actually have a gaming specialist
yeah.
division for children that want wishes granted relating to either meeting voice actors or going to game studios, or some kids even want to be like an NPC in a game. Or I just think that's the loveliest thing in the world. I do. It
Mm.
touches my heart. And the woman that runs it, she's called April. She's the nicest person on the planet, I think, doing one of the most meaningful jobs on the planet. So I love the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the gaming portion of it especially. I think it's great.
And what advice would you give to young aspiring founders or young professionals hoping to break into the game industry today?
Try, this sounds like a cliche. I've got a couple of bits. Try things and fail. I failed a
Mm-hmm.
metric shit ton. I failed loads and loads of things, but learn from them. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Learn from the things. Things will happen that are out of your control. You either didn't know that they could happen, you didn't account for them. Just learn from the mistakes that you make. But
Mm-hmm.
try things. I would say do something that solves a real problem. Don't do
Yeah.
something just for the sake of doing something. Be passionate about something and make sure it solves a real problem. When I was starting PlaySafe, one of the first things that I did was just create a video of me on, and I put a couple of $100 behind some Reddit ads just to go, I'm thinking of making this thing. What do you guys think? And we got really good feedback. And then we built a really cheap and dirty MVP. We got a couple of game servers, community game servers that we hosted. And then we tested, would people actually go through the process? And then we validated that. So we've gone through these steps of making sure that we're on the right track before kind of like going on the big stage. And now we're on the big stage with a great team, amazing cap table. Yeah, things are looking really good. But I would say try things. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn from when you fail. Don't take it personally. You're not a shit
Yeah.
person because you failed. Just something happened and you can learn from it, and that's completely okay. But be passionate and try to solve a real problem, validate, and just move as quickly as you can.
That's true. Everyone fails from time to time.
Oh, I fail frequently. I would love to fail just from time to time.
I think you can't succeed if you never failed. I don't know any successful or just any person from the industry who would say, no, I always right, I never fail. Like, no, it's not
I think one
true.
of the hard things as well is people judge you based on your failures. Like people are more than quick to go, oh, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. But you figure it out in the end, and they're forgotten. So I just figure it out.
Industry because I think people are really friendly and supportive. And I see the trend this year that more and more people are not afraid to share how they failed and
Yes.
how they are now. And I really kind of like this. So I think no one will judge you. I think it's kind
Not in
of,
the industry. They're great. I love the industry.
yeah,
The
yeah,
problem is we're
because
consumer facing.
it's. I think you should be very strong person if probably a very strong person if you can share how you failed,
Agreed.
because you're openly saying to the world about it. So I think it shows you that you are brave and you're a very strong person, not that you're a failure. It's
I love
okay.
that.
Share more because for sure it's the same as an industry. Sometimes I talk with game studios, publishers, and they think they have problems that are super unique. But in reality, when you start talking with people, most of the issues and problems, I don't know, any safety, monetization, user acquisition, anything else, probably you're not just the one who is facing this problem. So
100%.
when you start to share it, maybe someone already overcome it. So they will just give some advice so you will not suck there. So don't afraid to share it. It's okay. Everyone fails.
I love that.
And the question, how to stay motivated? let's imagine we fail several times. We fail often, usually. So how do we stay motivated and inspiring in this fast evolving industry?
I think part of it is a behavioral trait. I think some people are just
Mm-hmm.
naturally born with a thick
Yeah,
skin, right? Some people are just a glutton for punishment and they'll just take it over and over again and they don't care. They'll just keep picking themselves back up.
that's true.
For other people, it can absolutely be a learned thing. My a big portion of my background is in sales, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to deal with rejection is just a natural, huge part of that. And it's not comfortable, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a big part of that. So I think it also comes down to again, another cliche, but the why are you doing what you're doing? I think a lot of people that give up quite easy are doing it because they want to get rich or they want to make money. And the moment that that's in jeopardy, it's not worth the struggle. I
Mm.
think if you really believe in what you're doing, like fundamentally, like you really believe in either the problem that you're solving is so personally frustrating to you that you just really want to muddle through and solve that problem, or you're so passionate about an industry or a topic that you'll bear the weight of the responsibility and the failures and the burden to make good on it. So I think it needs to come from passion. I think it has to come to the why. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Do you truly believe in it, or are you doing it just for a paycheck or for a big exit? I truly want games to be free of cheaters. I really want children to be able to play without threat of predators accessing them. They're two deep down driving things within me, so I can bear the weight of the responsibility and the problems and the hurdles along the way.
And looking ahead, what goal or vision do you have for your work or the industry in general?
For my work personally, I'd really like in 5 years' time for everyone to turn around and go, "Holy shit, gaming was so bad 5 years ago, but now there's so much less cheaters, there's so much less bad shit. God, this is better now. I can't believe how awful it was." That's kind of like my dream, that people are really grateful, not necessarily for us, but for the better
Yeah.
experience that they're having. And I want to play a part in that journey. Me and all of the other service providers and tools that are looking to fight all of these problems and anti-cheat stuff. I hope we all collectively win. I think that's important. Generally, that's just my gut feeling for the whole industry as well. People play games because they want to have fun. They want to have a really good time. People make games because, for the most part, they want people to really enjoy the labor of their love. They want to create these great projects. And even on a more cynical side, they make them because they want to print loads of money. And you can't do that if people aren't having a good time. Like, it all
Yeah.
goes hand in hand. So I think it would be great for players. I think it'd be great for studios. I think it'd be great for everyone if we can figure out how to make sure games are as fair, fun, and safe as possible.
Amazing. Sounds amazing. So let's move on to some blitz questions that I have for you. We're talking about games all the time. So, what's your favorite game?
At the moment or ever?
You can name several. Usually, people say to me that they have several games because when they were children, they play some games, then in teenagers, then,
Yeah.
when they were students. So, name several of them if you want.
Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X, Zone of the Enders and Kingdom Hearts were 3, 4 of my favorite games growing up as a kid. Teenage years and young adulthood, World of Warcraft, the old school Call of
Yeah.
Duties, stuff like that. Nowadays, I'm playing a lot of Apex Legends. I'm playing the Battlefield 6 beta at the minute, and I'm a big fan of the Battlefield series. Rocket League with my mates, and some fun games like Peak as well. That wasn't a blitz answer, but I'm sorry, I love games.
Do you play with your child?
Not yet. I
Not
will
yet.
do one day, but not yet. Yeah.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
Gaming.
Gaming. Okay. Yes.
Absolutely gaming. I don't have that much time now, but if I have like 20 minutes free in my day, I'll absolutely hop on and play something for that 20 minutes. Yeah, I love it.
And what's one surprising fact about yourself that most people don't know?
I have been a chef at Michelin-starred restaurants, and I skied competitively at junior level. Yeah, as a competitive athlete, and they're actually my goggles that I used to wear when I competed.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. Do you cook at home?
I do.
You do.
Me and my partner, we
Amazing.
split it, but yeah, I enjoy cooking.
Your child is very lucky. I imagine dad's cooking this Michelin-star dishes in the evening.
I promise you, I cook normal food. I don't have the 6 hours for the prep to make a Michelin-star meal.
For special occasions for sure.
Maybe my cakes are fairly spectacular.
Look, yeah, amazing. And what's your favorite travel destination?
Oh, what's my favorite travel destination? I have a special place for Chamonix. and Alp from when I skied when I was young. Nowadays, just anywhere with a hot tub. Like
Oh,
I just anywhere that I can sit in the quiet, just in a hot tub
mm.
and just zone out is my idea of absolute heaven. That's not really a travel destination, but
And what's the next conference or event where people can meet you? And if we're talking about November, are there any plans?
November, there's a new one in Birmingham in the United Kingdom
Oh,
called To the Moon Expo. It's a couple of guys in their early 30s who are predominantly gamers who worked in
mm-hmm,
kind of like the event space, and they didn't like how corporate it was. They really wanted it to be more kind of a space for gamers as well, more kind of like B2C focused, more
mm-hmm.
laid back, more gamer friendly. And it looks really cool. I'm really excited to go. They've got the third biggest League of Legends tournament that they're hosting. They've got the official contract with Riot. I'm a big League of Legends fan, so I'm looking forward to watching that. It looks great. It looks good. So that's in November.
Have you ever been to PGC London in January?
I have 2 years ago, I think. And did I go this
Mm.
year? I think I went this year. I can't remember. I can't remember how many coffees I've had today.
That's good. That's good. We still have time until January. So the last question that I have for you for today, interesting one. So let's imagine you can have a coffee tomorrow with any person from the industry, from past, present, anyone. So who would it be, and what's the first question that you want to ask them?
I'd really like a coffee with Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to sit down and have a coffee with Gabe. I've seen him interviewed and talk and stuff, but I'd love to just have like a one-on-one chat with him. And my question would just be, what in the early days of putting Steam together, in the early days of Valve, what were your lessons learned? Like, what were the things that you wish you could have done, or didn't, or wish that you hadn't focused on? I'd find that really interesting.
I think the question that you should also ask, how many times you failed? Because
Yes,
you said sometimes shit happens. So I think that would be a very interesting question for the person like like him, because I think probably it was not once or twice. I think there always something happening. It just you always need to look positive, learn the lessons, and just go.
hundred
So that
percent.
would be also very interesting. I always like to talk with well-known people about their just roads, career paths, what happened, how they started, because usually they have a lot of fun stories and a lot of fun stories how they were laid off or fired or didn't, I don't know, finished universities or had problems and so some fun stuff like that.
If you haven't
So
been fired at least once, you're doing something wrong. Like, make a bit of trouble.
yes, exactly.
That is not life advice for anyone watching this. Please do not try to get yourself fired. I do not
But
condone
that's
that.
true. That's just life. So that's okay. Yeah, that would be also one of the second question. This would be the second question. How many times have you failed, you think?
100%. What's one of your
Amazing.
favorite stories, as an aside, from people that you've interviewed? What are some of your favorite stories?
I like hearing stories about from people who are saying, like, for example, half of my life I've been working as a cook, let's say, right, as a chef. And then I decided that I want to change my life. And I always liked games, but I never thought that you can work in games. Many people tell this, like, yeah, we were gamers, we love playing, but we never had an idea that we can have a career in gaming. That's actually me also. I never thought that I will have a career in gaming. It's just I was at the right place at the right time, let's say. So I like hearing these stories, how they was brave to change their careers, start from zero, totally new industry,
Mm-hmm.
new people, new network, and you have huge experience in something else, and you're just now, I want to shift. I don't care how hard it will be, I will do it. So I always like to hearing these stories, and surprisingly, many people are like this. Not everyone is
Mm-hmm.
starting their career right in the gaming industry from, let's say, 18 or 19 when they finish some universities or something else. And also, I'm always surprised. Yeah, if we're talking about the technical roles, probably 90% of people will have the degree from some IT stuff or connected to games. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about other roles like marketing, project management, sales, BD, anything around IT, very less people have actually education or thought that they will work in games. And usually it's very surprising to hear that, yeah, I'm like a project manager right now. I have 10 years experience in gaming, blah, blah, blah. But actually I'm like a lawyer or like a
Yes.
something else. Like, and I was like, wow, okay. And also I interviewed one person and he told a very interesting story that he was a lawyer and he likes, like, his guilty pleasure is to watch documentaries like crime stories, something
Okay.
like this. It's just going back to that law degree and crimes and something like that. So he was like, yeah, I put it like my hobby and my guilty pleasure, but I work in games. So it's always very interesting to see that people are not just about games, that they
Yes.
are much more. And that's why one of the reasons that I started this podcast, because I like to talk with people and it's usually very interesting. For example, I never knew that you were Michelin. You worked at the Michelin restaurants, right? You're also a chef.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very interesting. And I like to learn this new stuff about people, and everyone is so interesting and so different. And it's very fun and very
No, I
open. I
love it.
like to talk with people. Yeah.
One last question for you while I have
Yeah,
you. You
of
said that you
course.
were in the right place, right time. What was your right place, right time moment?
Interesting story how I started working in the gaming industry right after so it was in January 2020. I was finishing the university. I was studying not IT, not something into the games. I was studying international business.
Okay.
So I was looking for a job, right? I applied to different companies at that time, like 6 years ago. It's where I was living in Vilnius in Lithuania, and one of the companies replied and they actually scheduled me like a online interview, and there were an HR manager and I talked with her. I didn't know anything about games at that time. Like, okay, GTA, Need for Speed, Sims. I also played Star Wars with my elder brother. So, all my education about games were very limited. What my brother has played, I also maybe watched or played it. And I didn't know any technical stuff because I was very young. I didn't have any experience. And I had a very bad interview. I remember
Oh
I
no.
cried and I thought, why did I apply it? I don't know anything about this industry. I'm very interested, but it was a junior role, so I didn't know that I should have some kind of very deep knowledge. So we said goodbye to each other and so on. But after a week, I got contacted by the head of sales at that time, who was working at the Vilnius office at the company. And she said, look, I know that you had an interview with HR and she said that you're not a match and so on, but I see the potential. So can you come just for a chat, just for a coffee with me to the office? I just want to meet you because I think maybe she was too technical or too deep with you, because we don't need that experience that she was talking about. So I came, I was totally skeptical, like, okay, let's try. I will not lose anything. And I talked with her and she believed in me. And I worked 5 years at that company. And at the end of for the last years, it was acquired by AppsFlyer, the company named Dev to
Love it.
Dev. Yeah. So I was also the last years part of the big family called AppsFlyer. And it was a huge experience, but just because she believed in me and I agreed to that coffee.
And
Yeah.
I think there's two important morals from that. What I see a lot is wonderful people who take chances on
Yeah.
other people, which 100%. And the second thing is you took the risk, you took the chance, you
Yeah.
put yourself out there. And I think there's such a big part of right place, right time, which is you being willing to put yourself out there and take the risk. So more power to you. I think that's great. And
Yeah,
that's a great
and
story.
I will never forget how I sat with her in February 2020. You understand what time is it, right? It's
Yeah.
like a month before Corona, and I was like a junior sales manager at that time, and she was like, "Be prepared. There are a lot of travels. Like you can't imagine how I was like, for sure, I don't have
5 minutes
husband.
later,
Like I
no
don't have a
chat.
husband. I don't have kids. I don't have a dog. Anything. Like I'm just out of the university. Of course, it's okay. Just finished my onboarding and then Corona hits. And 2 years we were sitting and working remotely. So that's also a very fun story. We like to talk, we like to joke with her every time we see each other. But what else? It's also a nice experience. No one was
Good.
prepared for it, and it was interesting how everything shifts. So that's also okay.
Awesome.
Andres, thank you so much for our chat today. Look how many fun, interesting stories we shared today. I wish you an amazing time at the conferences, at upcoming conferences. Don't forget about the PGC London in January 2026. Learn and become better and better. And in 5 years, we will say, look how safe games are. Our kids can play them. Everyone can be chill and just enjoy and have fun.
Love it. I hope I have some victories along the way as well. But yes.
Of course. But it's not just a straight line. So what I meant is that it's okay. Be brave as you are now. And I'm just waiting for new interviews and new news from your side about some positive changes, because what you're doing is very important. And thank you for coming to this industry and taking that bet with your friends, because look where you are now.
I will do my best, but thank you for having me. This has been great. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this conversation valuable, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and spread the word with your network. More inspiring stories are coming your way. See you next time.